Here's the deal. This is a very, very, very bad basketball team. It is not going to get better. It's not like you have some young athletes that can infuse a little life. You know, Jason Terry is a nice little spark, and he did do a nice job. 4 for 7, 3 for 6 from 3. He's definitely a little bit of an energizer, but he missed 100 games with a knee bruise. This team is bad, and the number one reason this team is bad is because their leader, their $98 million guy, is not a winner. He's not a winner. And guess what? He's not going to be. He's not going. He can show you flashes. He showed you flashes last year. He gave you a half a year. You paid him $98 million. I don't know, I guess it comes to about $20 million a year. And he earned 10 of it last year. He's already missed 11 games this year due to injury. He's going to miss more because he gets hurt. Every game you see him wincing over something. He'll miss some more games, and some of the games that he won't miss, he'll miss because he'll do what he did tonight. You know, the Indiana Pacers weren't even interested in this game in the first half. They were lethargic. They were going through the motions. It was another game for them. And yet there they were leading by 6. While our supposed studs, our leaders, were shitting the bed. We missed 10 shots in a row after going 7 for 11 to start the game. And Kevin Garnett, man, oh my God, Kevin Garnett, he can't play this game anymore. He cannot play basketball anymore. He missed 4 layups. He gets abused nightly on defense. He was 3 for 10. Sadly, he was the second highest scorer of the game. He was the second highest scorer of the game. He had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 for 10 from the floor. And you go back to D. Will, 4 more turnovers, 9 points, 3 of 9 shooting, 8 assists. I mean, then you look at the other side, look at the Pacers. How many guys on the Pacers are better than D. Will? That's pretty sad. Think about it. I mean, of course, you're not going to say overall, over long, but look at the floor yesterday. I mean, David West was 6 for 8. David West is 100 years old and still plays like a stud, plays like a star, plays like a leader. 13 points. Paul George, this guy, he's the MVP of the league right now. I mean, imagine. Paul George was the number 10 pick in that same draft that we got Favors at number 3. And whose Favors linked to? D. Will. Everywhere you turn, D. Nil is part of the problem. Hibbert, quiet. George Hill was quiet. Still contributed. And Lance Stevenson, the Brooklyn guy, Brooklyn kid, just completely dominating the basketball game. 26 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. Then you look at this, Ian Mahimini. Never heard of him until yesterday. He had 7 points, 3 rebounds, and a couple of defensive plays. This is a lifeless team. This is a gutless team. This is a team, good to hear Jason Kidd softly ripped them. He didn't rip them like Byron Scott would have in his day. But in his personality, that was his rip job by saying they accept the lose. And I totally agree with him. The team does not really care about winning and losing right now. As a team, it is a nightmare. It is the worst nightmare that I've ever had in my sports lifetime. I've been a Net fan for 30 years. I've seen horrific Net teams. I've been a Raider fan for 30 years. They're probably more like 40 years. Been a Raider fan since I was a tiny kid. How bad have the Raiders been? This the Raiders are probably the laughingstock of the NFL, and yet I feel worse this year than I ever have in any Raider season. And every Raider season, I feel like shit after 4 weeks because they're a joke. Their franchise is a joke. This is the most embarrassed I've ever been as a fan in my life. I mean, I want to crawl. I want to burn everything I have that says Brooklyn. I hear the Brooklyn chant, and I cringe with pain. I'm like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed to even admit that this friggin' team, I thought they'd compete for an NBA championship this year. And I don't know. Hey, listen, if Brook Lopez is on the floor or not, of course he's a big loss. But man, you have a chance. You had a chance last night to rally together and say, you know what, man, let's steal this one. Indiana played last night. Came in here, beat us already. Let's steal this one. You played well for 5 minutes. And I knew it, man. The first quarter, I knew it. When we missed, we had opportunities to have that lead in double digits. Should have been a 12, 14-point net lead in the first quarter. And you missed. You missed fucking 10 open shots in the first quarter. And there you were, trailing 19-17. And while everybody else is, Jimmy Spanarkle's saying, hey, you got to feel good. No. Because even though it's only a 2-point deficit, it should have been a 10-point lead, and that's a mental factor. And this team is mentally soft because D-Nil is one of the most mentally soft superstars that I've ever witnessed. Body language terrible, head down, just doesn't possess the qualities of what a superstar is supposed to. Because quite frankly, he's not. He is an ordinary player. He's an above average. Let's put it this way. He is an above average point guard. But he is nowhere near a superstar. The kid on the other side is a superstar, Paul George. And I tell you what, I've been watching a lot of Lance Stevenson lately. He may not be far behind. You might be looking at a poor man's version with these two of LeBron and D. Wade. I said poor man's version. Pippen and Jordan, poor man's version. But you're looking at those two, and then you put their complementary pieces in, and it ain't complementary. Hibbard's a factor. I'm a big David West. I mean, Danny Granger looks like a shell of himself. Granger was their best player a couple years ago. Granger was on the verge of stardom. He just looks, he looks pretty bad right now, but has to be due to his injuries. And then you look at their other players, man. They're little pieces. Skola's a pain in the ass. I love George Hill. I think he's a solid player. This team is good, but yet they weren't interested in playing basketball last night in the first half, and they led by 6 because we stink. Beerzer was awful. Joe Johnson was, I guess, consistent, 7 for 13. Blatch played decently, and of course Paul Pierce was absolutely horrid. But that's what you're going to get from 75-year-old guys. And once again, where's Reggie Evans? Sitting the bench. I don't get that. I don't get it. Maybe did Reggie do something with Jason's wife or something? I don't understand why Reggie Evans is not getting minutes, especially in blowouts. Don't get it. But anyway, Christmas is going to be great for those of us that are celebrating. We get to start our Christmas like we did last year. How fun was that last year at noon to tune in to the Christmas Boston Massacre? I fully expect the Bulls. I don't care who's playing for the Bulls. I fully expect them to smack this soft, pathetic, horrendous excuse for an NBA team around in their own building. Leave me alone.